Wait, what?
What?
So that helps you against a gun, I guess? Do you quickly
What I'm
dodge it,
saying
or-
is, I know there's characters similar in a game that should not be named, and in that game there's no turn rates and all that jazz, so they kite very easily. But Sniper, on the other hand, he's like 290 move speed with terrible turn rates. So once you get on top of him, he's done.
I hate when I get in those street fights with my 290 move speed against a gun.
I'll tell you one thing. I got
Sadly, that gun only hits for 40 damage in this game, level 1 instead
when
of...
I'm in an alley and a dude pulls out a gun, my turn rate is unbelievable. Even the person standing next to me, I don't give a shit. All right?
Phasies do real good.
Turn rates really increase when you push the other person on the ground and then run. But anyway, Grimstroke, another very popular hero, as well as the Void Spirit. Wow, what is this? Is this post-TI pubs? Void Spirit and Snapfire? We gotta nerf these two heroes. They're still too strong, gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm kind of weirded out by this Grimstroke pick, because all the heroes like Sven and Wraith King with like a single target stun that kind of synergize with it don't make sense to me against the Clock Venno, and then Ricky's already banned out. So, like, who's your Grimstroke partner here?
I'm seeing it less as a partner, but more of the, this Venno is an off lane, you need that 5 that can take over the lane if your carry needs to leave, right? You need someone who can push out the wave quite cleanly and still play the map. So this Grimstroke pick, it allows them to push out waves quickly on supports and still be active across the rest of the map. Then
Ember
they pick
actually makes
Ember,
sense here.
They then pair as well. You have a very strong laning duo because these are pretty darn aggressive. And it's still the same principle. If Ember goes to gank, Grim can still occupy that lane, then TPing in to be super effective.
That's fantastic analysis. Damn, T-Governor.
Thank you.
Hope this is the springboard to the rest of your career.
Maybe.
It's great to have someone on the panel that I actually continue to listen to. Should see me on a fog panel. Holy Jesus. Anyway.
I can't respond to that.
Well, this is your chance. Take him down. Like, yeah, I'm better than
We'll have a bar fight with me and Fogged.
Hell yeah. Dude, that would...
Who would win?
I'd watch that.
Yeah, who would win actually? Because like I'm weak and also extremely short, have no muscles, and no confidence. So yeah, I don't think
Fog fits about that description as well. So
yeah,
this would be terrible.
I'd pay money.
Okay, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's see that stretch goal for the next TI.
Go fund me.
If you
head on over to the EGB bet odds, you'll find out the slacks and
dude, they'd pay.
They would, yeah, that'd be great.
Holy shit!
Wow.
Grand finals post game is gonna be
in between the series of the grand final. It's like cast round of fight, cast round of fight.
Dude, honestly, I mean the Spartans, they used to do like the the naked fighting and stuff.
Well, we're not getting naked.
Well.
It would be the jelly fights or whatever you see in those.
The
like,
Jello
fights. We could do
Jello
like
fights, thank you.
Yeah, like soap and like in the paddling pool type thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those.
Okay. We'll work on that. Again,
Let's make this happen.
We got a long
release.
release. We got a long
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Logistics after the
Hey!
We'll worry about it after this game.
I don't like this drow pick. I won't like that.
No, you said that last time a drow came out. You had that equally disgusted face when a drow.
Yeah, no, it's
pick
kind of
came out.
vile. It's all about you have to try and protect this hero and keep it kind of cushioned. And right now, their heroes aren't heroes that statically play the map. They're always equally making these same moves. So when you start a team fight, your defensive kind of positioning never enables this drow to feel confident.
Yo, hold up. Wasn't it Empire who picked the drow last time as well? I think it might have been.
Maybe. I honestly don't know that one.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. If it was Empire, it lost. So picking it again.
I want to hear your thoughts on something I was thinking here, because I don't think I've ever stated this thought out loud, literally ever.
Oh my god.
Exclusive!
I want to hear what it sounds like, you know? And I don't want to care about Kyle's opinion.
No,
He's over
please,
there
focus.
thinking I care about him. Okay.
Go.
So, the Drow is a hero that needs her teammates to be worried about her position at all times.
Correct.
So I feel like playing her with like Void Spirits and Clockworks, who have a lot to worry about in team fights, like their own spellcasting, hate having to worry about the positioning of their carry and how that affects their carry, thus making them very bad synergy with Drow. What do you think about that?
I fully agree, only because I believe I just said that, but Slats can correct me on that. But yes, no, I'm joking.
Did you actually just say that?
Yeah, I said it in a really bad way, and you said it in like the expert.
I didn't know you were actually saying that.
No. We're both.
I wasn't trying to like.
Congratulations.
Actually,
I mean,
thank you.
it's a thing you do a lot. In case you forgot our last panel, where every claim I made, several minutes later, you just repeat it and say, you know, before you started talking, here's what I thought, Mr. Slamma.
No, but like, that is honestly is a really great point, and I wish I thought about that. It's really it's perfect.
I was just like, I couldn't pinpoint it in my head why I don't want to Drow with these heroes, but that's
the argument as well. The counter argument, memes aside, is because there's so many like go-getters in Team Empire's draft, Drow could be protected through the aggression of her lineup. If they're starting the fight, it's hard for Unique to first defend the initial engagement and then find the positioning and forward momentum to get onto the Drow. So the argument is, well, they don't have anyone defensive, but again, they have a lot of go. So, neither side, that could be the reasoning why this card does look pretty good.
Hello. Let's take a look at these odds. Wow, whoa. Team Unique has got the odds on lock. Empire, what is that? Almost a 3-to-1 almost. My number skills are correct. I have to agree with them though. Juggernaut has a lot of tempo. All these heroes are run at you heroes, get in your face, except for Magnus, but you know he's been having some rough times lately. And all these on Empire heroes kind of suffer when they get run at. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I honestly don't love Team Unique's draft all that much, but I also think that other than Veno, they don't have a great way to force objectives early on Team Empire. Drow is not the hero she used to be. Back when she just got free agility from her ult and that's all it did, she would take your towers the minute she got level 6. But now, she's more about the procs on creeps and heroes, so her ult power spike's more of either farming or fighting based.
Yeah.
So right now, excuse me, I just feel like they have so much space to farm with the Jug, Mag, and Power, and the Ember's going to be able to make space with the Grimstroke's Inkswell on top of them. So I don't know. I think the game's going to go slower than Team Empire wants it to go, and I think that'll favor Unique here.
Yeah, I couldn't agree.
I was trying to finish that point before I had to clear my throat, and
you
it just kept getting worse.
So well.
It just kept getting worse.
It's getting more dry.
I even drank water before this, man.
You agree?
Yeah,
Mr.
I think, just this Drow lineup, they're going to do pretty well maybe early on, the tier 1s, tier 2s, but getting to that tier 3, it simplifies your defense. Magnus, Snapfire, these heroes will then just be super amplified, and eventually Mag Jug will just out-farm you, and they'll just take the game. So I think if Empire can show that they've kind of cleaned up their games from yesterday and actually can operate well as a team, then sure, they have a small window to do it, but they're fundamentally on a timer, and after watching them yesterday, that ain't going to work for them.
Well, these are some very intense claims that we're seeing here from our two analysts. The question is, will the casters believe the same? Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for one of the greatest casters of all time. He started his career with a faux hawk, and now he rocks you at home. If you can take a moment to get ready for the one, the only Monopoly man himself, put your thimbles together for Dota Capitalist! And also, Kyle's there.
Wow, thank you so much for that warm introduction, Slacks. Honestly, touched me right to my heart. You made me feel like a king and this, my peasant. Or maybe a jester. I'm not sure which, because you're not even rocking the red, Kyle. What happened?
I forgot it.
Yeah.
I forgot it in my other... it's not important. Sorry, I was a little thrown off. Excellent introduction. One day I do hope to be royalty as well, but... yeah.
Well, here
Good
we
morning.
are. Good morning. So you guys have been watching these teams, right?
Yes.
You guys have been catching up on the Divine League, and I heard you guys talking about Team Unique, which I suppose on an international stage is really only well known for the fact that they're one of the few teams to manage to beat Secret in a series.
It's true.
ESL won Los Angeles, I believe, in the group stage. They actually 2-0'd them. That was with the same core of this roster. They switched out, I believe, 2 different players. They still had Illusion, Vanscore, and their mid player, I believe.
I think you might be right, but I honestly have no idea.
Yeah, because Palantimos was on J178 at the time.
Yeah. They looked really good yesterday against Hellraisers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they definitely are one of the stronger teams here and would threaten to challenge Immortal League in the upcoming days. I don't know how I feel about the draft matchups, though. I like the concept both squads went for, just pretty basic damage amplification. But you'd have to consider the Mag Ember Jug is pretty damn solid. Like you just kind of play itself. And BZZ, can't believe the man's still here, but
yeah,
only offlane Mag.
Still sticking around, man. He actually just lost yesterday or the day before. Maybe this is where the Drow Ranger pick actually came in. They were talking about it on panel. They said maybe it was Empire drafted. It was actually Hellraisers, but they did beat Team Unique with a Drow Ranger against a Magnus. So maybe this is just something that Empire saw and is going to try and emulate themselves.
It's definitely a more frustrating lineup to play against. Brian had this really convoluted point about positioning and Drow Ranger and trigonometry or whatever was going on. But
yeah, he was getting a little math geeky on it.
Yeah, you do have a lot of area controlling tools. You got Venom wards, the clock stuff, you got the tornado that's going to come through. So Unique will have to take fights pretty crisp because it's so easy to be not counter-initiated, but like whatever, not combo broke either, but disrupted, annoyed.
Yeah,
to try
sure.
and land kills.
Even just your straight-up initiations, we're going to watch the first blood here. Eknart go down against Illusion. Yeah, even just trying to get the initiation in the first place, right, against all of this tornado mixed with the Venom wards, it's going to be hard for the Mag to be able to jump in and actually find some good openings.
Yeah, for sure. The mid matchup is the one I'd probably want to key in on. Ember versus Invoker on 19 Teen's birthday, turning 20.
Yeah.
More of a skill-based matchup. I think the Ember should win, or at the very least break even. He's got to be careful with Flame Guard usage and try to juke out any EMPs with Slight, already with the bottle up.
You know, Kyle, I'm a little bit torn just in this matchup because I actually would like to see Empire get their first win. Mostly because, I mean, this is a squad that is filled up with entirely new to competitive Dota players.
Yeah.
Almost entirely. Eknar's the oldest one of the group. He's been playing for about 6 years now.
Still a rookie, 6 years into his career.
Guys, when it comes to Dota, man, these careers, they last a long time. But most of these players haven't only played on like maybe one team beforehand that people would have heard on. And so I'd like to be able to see a young squad do well, but, I don't want to spoil 19's birthday.
True. I will say it's kind of incredible. You look at the longevity of certain players in the scene's careers. The amount of money in like prize pool has only been increasing for the last 5, 6, 7 years. But the same guys are still on top. Like, that's just wild to me. You got to assume everyone in the scene's equally motivated. So how good do you have to be on top for like 7 consecutive years? So nothing but respect for the puppies and no-tells and crows of the world.
Yeah, true competitors, man.
And you got the young guns, Palomatinos.
Not going to continue the chase too far. Knows that the spin wouldn't kill him. And if he drifted out too far, it's an opportunity for Shachlo to turn around and really pump out some damage. An older name of CIS alongside Vanscore. So definitely experience.
Shachlo too, man.
Yeah.
Old school Power Rangers player.
Yeah.
I personally like the Smiling Knight just because that's a very obscure reference to the Song of Ice and Fire universe.
I actually don't remember. It's a cool
name.
I'll be honest.
Jaime Lannister killed him in single combat. It's going in the White Book, but it's a whole other story. We're not going to get into the back end of that. That's for those
really
nerds.
Delving into the lore of these players' names.
Well, I've been waiting for a book for 6 years, so there's a lot of time to explore the realm.
About as long as Eknar's career, as he managed to find yet another kill on Smiling Knight. All in time for the bounty runes to come up, and you can see that maybe this matchup isn't as going as well as when they watched Hellraisers beat Unique, because this Mag is still farming perfectly fine.
Yeah, and that's a little concerning. I think Empire would prefer if the laning stage broke down a bit earlier. Unique have a draft that's just kind of down to chill.
Yeah.
If you get out of lanes, all your core's in a good spot, the first items online, and you just kind of swap in powers and farm, you're going to consistently get more ROI out of every minute spent on map.
And at the same time, it's they also want their laning phase, like they should be expecting to win it.
Yeah.
Right? They've got a Venomancer on one side, a Drow Ranger on another. These are cores that need to be able to walk away with a win in their laning phase and go from there.
I will say, though, you're playing against Venomancer, and this hero, whenever you see it start to get first two'd, you assume that people are going to figure it out pretty quick, right? Because it's Veno. Like, the hero can't really change the way it plays the laning phase.
Yeah, it's not very dynamic. The playstyle's the same most of the time, right?
But this ward, like, people aren't even skilling Gale. This is just so annoying.
Yeah, well, first of all, where's my man Stick?
That's a good point.
That's one of the go-tos for this matchup. Eknart managed to get the cogs, trap into 2. Smiling Knight does manage to dodge that stroke of fate, gets a little bit more damage, making they can trade off here. Eknart actually does survive there. And Smiling Knight opting not to try and chase down the Grimstroke.
Yeah. Well played up top, though. We had an interview with Illusion yesterday after their win. It was real nice. It's always cool to get a chance to chat with some of the up-and-comers.
Yeah, what was he like?
Oh, he's real chill. We were joking about it because all the old pros, right, can't be bothered to do interviews. It's like pulling teeth to get him in the chair. He showed up all excited. It was like happy to talk to us.
Fairy Fire pops. Not really going for it, but he's not going to get it. Illusion is the one for the double kill. Lightless will come in and clean up. Gets the kill on BZZ and is hoping to get the other one, but I don't think he's really fast enough. If he does, he'd have to really dive into the trees, and that's certainly not worth the risk. So once again, Unique really walking away with a victory there, forcing a rotation, still managing to kill the enemy carry, and this is not what you want to see for a Draw Ranger game, not what you want to see for a Venomancer either. Fortunately, he doesn't have to TP all the way back to base, trying to get this kill onto Vanscore though, chasing him down, but a neutral creeps. Well done by Vanscore, waking him up from their slumber to get the deny on himself. Pull back on Palantimos, and now Shancho's back into play here as he gets the Poison Sting, slowing down Palantimos. They don't need to dive. They could just be content with having pushed him out pretty far.
He's just taking so much damage from this Poison Sting. It does have the stick up, but as you said, he got it, what, a couple minutes ago, already up to 10 charges?
Yeah.
So it's just a free healing ward now for the Jug safe. 19-teen wants the rune. He would have got it there if he had if it had spawned. That would have been sick.
He's not going to get it on the other side, though. Eknart, good rotation by him. It does leave his Draw Ranger alone for now, but it's going to cost 19 quite a bit. In fact, 19 didn't have enough mana to be able to jump over to his Remnant, so instead he had to go for the Flame Guard. Eknart with the double damage is still putting in the work. Now, this is not a kill he's going to be able to get, but he can be very happy with the result, especially at this tornado. Oh, snap, Lightless. That was smooth as hell. That's a TP ruined right there.
I love that about this CIS Dota scene. Certain other players, you know, once the Ember runs up into his own jungle, it's like, I'll give up. I don't even care. But no, he's got him locked and just chases for that extra 20 seconds to get the tornado to finish, which isn't necessarily worth until that TP gets canceled. Because that just burns an extra, what, 20, 30 seconds from the Ember Spirit on respawn. So it's super value to take him out.
Yeah, his Remnant expired before he actually came back up. So couldn't actually jump back to lane, and now he's going to miss a full creep wave here potentially, unless he wants to blow even more Remnants to get there faster.
That's such a huge win when you interrupt the TP. It's just, it's like double the death timer when you get it. It's so sick. Put the Invoker in firm and sole control of top net worth.
What do you think about him with the Quaswex build? We've been seeing a few more Exorts nowadays.
I have not seen one.
Really? You haven't seen a single one?
Yeah, I actually didn't even realize people were building going Exort yet. I've only seen Quaswex, which is surprising. The one thing that's never been used, at least to my knowledge yet, is something Smash used to do way back. Hang on, will they get this kill?
Eknart does manage to separate himself and gets a good Cogs pushback. Dodges the nuke there from BZZ. Goes the TP away. Very, very nicely played.
Smash used to go this really cool...
Nah, he's good, he's good.
Is
talking about the Wexord build?
Yeah, the Wexord.
Oh, the pullback from the tornado, setting it all up. That just nice combos from Empire.
That's a really cool combo as well. The tornado into Remnant from the Void Spirit isn't exactly dodgeable. It's pretty nice because whenever you're playing against Ember, you need that frame perfect lockdown. I think you can Remnant out, but actually no, I don't think you can. Because it functions the same way as Mirana Arrow, where if a target comes within the radius of the spell, much like Arrow, you're just like immediately placed into the disabled state. So I don't believe you're able to Remnant out of that if it's done perfectly and the Remnant is activated before you come down from Tornado.
And that was James picking up that kill right there on the Void Spirits. Player from Uzbekistan that is trying to join Lightless here and getting even more active, but they're going to be met with a big, bad, angry Ember Spirit who will at least be able to kill Lightless. No, he gets the kill on James as well, thanks to the Sleight of Fist. A skewer back, and an Omni Slash with no savior from the creeps. Palantimos helped them get the kill there as well. 1 for 3 exchange in various lanes. Unique getting active.
That's where it starts to get scary, though. It feels like Empire has played a better game. They've been more active around the map, but this Ember is farmed, Mag and Jug are suddenly linked up, and the Empower start to play a huge role. Mid tower being pressured, they're going to take top as well for free. And the problem with Empire's lineup is they just don't have anybody beefy. They can hunt for kills, but shoving towers is really tough, whereas these 3 unique cores can just play up in their face.
Do manage to get the silence on a Lightless. The shots come out from the Snapfire, not good enough to get either kill here, and James might be able to turn things around. Nice cookie, actually, bailing him out from the Remnant.
Grandma coming in clutch.
Do manage to take that bottom tier 1 tower finally, thanks to the Venomancer, but still, again, with the Venomancer, you would hope that you'd be ahead in these tower-taking maneuvers, but as we've seen, quite far behind. Does manage to dissimulate, gets away from that Inkswell. Man, this Tornado is really value in this game. Flame Guard, Inkswell.
Empower.
Empower, yeah. A lot of really good abilities.
I think you also catch people mid-cookie, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Like, they don't land, so they don't perform the stun. I don't know how relevant that'll be, but if it is, I said, not Cat.
Kyle called it. It wasn't me.
Royalty schmoyalty.
Silenced up. Unable to hook shot away, but if they can get their turnaround kill on this Ember Spirit, it'd be super good. 19 has just enough mana, thanks to that stick, to be able to jump away to his Remnant that was already out, and Void Spirit will pay the price for trying to go for the brotherly kill.
You can see the damage issues from Empire, though. Like, that was a pretty decent kill execute, but the Wand and the Remnant out, there's no follow-up. In fact, Empire just don't really have any true lockdown. You can catch somebody in these kind of quirky maneuvers, maybe a hook into silence or something, the Remnant after Tornado, but meanwhile, Unique just have very simple point-click stun damage and a lot of disable. It's just so much easier for them to find kills, whereas Empire feels like they need superior positioning. I think the odds are pretty accurate in that case, because it just feels like Unique, not just the better team, but a significantly easier draft to execute with.
Well, I would say the odds actually have gotten better to Empire's favor compared to the start of this series. Maybe that's just people seeing the odds and being like, if I can make $3 for my 1, that seems pretty good. But the truth is, it is looking very favorable for Unique, especially if they can take this mid tower nice and early. Shotshot is here in position, though, to set up the wards, and this will make things a lot harder for Unique. Oh, news come out. They actually do manage to get initiation from Eknart. Gets in between everybody from Unique. It is holding Palantimos down. The rest of his team needs to help him out, though, to be able to pump the damage in. Palantimos still has some stick charges.
Holy crap.
Tried to chase down that clockwork, but that was an ill attempt indeed, as it's going to cost him his life. He falls to the Tornado. What a big fight for Empire, and I cannot believe it. Unique's hubris there.
Oh, for sure. I also can't believe this is just a naked Yasha on the jug. I would have expected a drums or some sort of lifesteal like Mask of Madness in this kind of game. You're not going to have nearly enough sustain, and with only 1100 HP, you saw Venomancer. Shacklo is just clicking him. Like clockwork, he's trading hits, and he can't even out DPS the battery assault. Really shocked they're not going for a drums on any of their heroes. That item is by far most valuable, especially when you consider the mass amount of physical right-click you provide when you've got 3 melee cores that can all be empowered. Just an active drum charge could zerg down a tower, or Roche, or advantageous in a team fight.
Yeah, there's a reason why teams like OG, who are known for exploiting items, will always have a drum hero, if not 2.
Yeah, but really nice play there, though, from Eknart on the clock, because he took out Illusion before he could get a spell off. That Grimstroke will be very key for winning team fights for Unique.
Nice pickups here. Good work on the camera too, buddy. They got that bottom kill and the mid kill at the same time, and Empire beginning to pick up the pace a little bit. Those odds not looking so good anymore.
Venomancer is starting to become a real factor. Hitting level 10, maxed out wards, maxed out poison. Suddenly you got some survivability, and you just start doing so much damage.
Yeah, we almost have the Orchid too for Lightless, so
He's hunting with his Tornado.
He's going for the RP, but he only hits the Clockwork. We'll be able to push him back into the tier 2, but what a position for him to be in as he cogs pushes them all into the silence. The Aether Remnant doesn't catch Palantimos instead. It hits the Magnus, but Palantimos is still in trouble here, and he only has a few stick charges to work with. He has to turn around and Omni Slash and hope for the best. He ends up staying on top of Shotslow and is quickly eliminated by Smiling Knight. Lightless will go down to the barrage of nukes coming out from the Snapfire, but 19 wasn't able to finish the job. He couldn't get any of those kills, and now is left to the unmerciless Smiling Knight who gets the triple kill on the high ground.
How much damage does this hero do? He's got double Wraith and a Dragon Lance. He's just shredding. No wonder I lost that hero yesterday.
You mean the garbage Draw Ranger hero?
It's not garbage, Cap. Damage amplification is nothing to sneeze at.
Okay.
Big fan.
I'm just saying, it doesn't look as good as...
Look at those numbers.
Like 2 months ago when the Clockwork Death Prophet combo, which is basically the same thing, right?
What?
Silence off of a clock initiation.
They're not the same thing at all.
I just explained why they're very similar.
That's like saying Fast and Furious is a lot like Gran Torino because they have cars in them. It's not the same.
Okay, fine. Jeez. Didn't know you would take such offense to that, Kyle. Gracious. All I'm saying is that I would much prefer that combination over the Draw Ranger. That's me anyway. Oh, hook shot that just misses the mark.
I think it's situational. I will say I think DP is certainly slept on right now. That hero feels really good to play. And I think there's just not nearly enough methods of dealing with healing right now after the changes to the Spirit Vessel. Also, weird item build. This is an... Okay, wait, never mind. Sorry. For some reason in my head, this was an offlane Void Spirit, but it's not.
Just the 4.
19?
Not going to get very far as he was already hit by the slow from the Void Spirit, so it's Remnant only went a couple inches there. He does manage to get away, but he's pushed back and will probably have to go for a heal. And Vanscore, who already spoiled his cookie. Dude, it's the way the cookie crumbles.
Eknard is everywhere, man.
Yeah.
I feel like every time we turn our head, we just find him on top of an enemy support and helping his squad find a kill. No hook needed there. He just found himself in position.
Lightless wanders into the sentry, but it doesn't matter too much, I think, because he's got some backup. They can actually get there in time, though, to grab this Ember Spear and prevent him from killing Lightless, but they can't quite do it. Eknard didn't have the hook shot up, and the Aether Remnant could only do so much. And now BZZ, he's hit the one-man RP, pulling the Draw Ranger into the Juggernaut, and that's exactly the target he wants to be on the slashing every single time. We'll get up the healing ward just to make sure everyone's going to be okay here, but these fights just keep on going back and forth as I feel like both teams are not playing the cleanest of games and stumbling into some bad fights.
It's a product of the draft makeup, though, because Empire kind of have to always play with that little extra style. They need to use positioning, isolate enemies, whereas Unique, it's just like, get us around the Drow for just a couple of moments. He died in Omni Slash.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, there was an RP and a skewer back, but the damage output necessary was just that Jug ult. Unique still provide a lot more power in their punches. It's just more difficult for them to get on top of these squishy backliners of Empire because they've got just so much stuff in the way.
Dude, look at Eknar. What a man. He's just running after Palantimos right now. James was going after Vanscore. Now the ultimate's going to come out from the Snapfire. James is going to dodge back in. There goes the silence, the Orchid from Lightless to prevent any more damage. 19. He's going to take a ton of poison damage. The Tornado chases after him, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't need to hit because the poison would surely do the trick.
Yeah, you can't fight with no cooldowns, though, Unique. They used RP, they used Omni. You've got to just get out now. Like, you can't keep skirmishing here, and I love what Empire's doing. They're just consistently running. Look at the warding they've got with 2 placed deep in the Radiant top triangle. This is the area of the map you're looking to control. They can now play this jungle, freeze up Roshan, and if they're able to find any kills, mid and top are almost always going to be pushing for them, so they can go for a tier 2, then go into the bottom half, maybe look to take the shrine or the outpost. I miss shrines. R.I.P.
Do you?
No.
I'm not sure if I
No,
missed
I
that
don't.
at all.
It just... I liked it because it feels like a lot of the heroes that are meta now kind of have these self-sufficient ways to stay on map, whereas shrines made it so that, you know, you could play something like Leshrac as an example and not just feel bad because you get to 60% HP and you're just like, damn, what do I do?
Nice deny. Well done by Illusion. 20-minute mark coming up, and all of Empire occupying the left-hand side of the map, taking over that triangle, and we should get these 2 bounties. James is going to play the other side and get at least 1. Oh, Jesus, Eknar. All right, maybe he didn't check out Illusion's items before he made that initiation, but should know now that Illusion has a 4-staff, so
Big
it's not free food anymore.
This is that part of the game where Clockwork goes from really broken to rather ineffective, and suddenly you've got to think not about finding kills, but splitting the fight. specifically isolating either Ember or Jug from his team or keeping them out of a fight entirely. Ultimately, you want to try and get a support or the mag in a perfect world. And but let's see, Illusion BCZ look ready. They're backing up this Ember Spirit. 19, not having the greatest game so far, 5th in net worth, but keep in mind that Empower effectively adds an extra item to his hero. So he still is going to do some of the most damage in this game.
It always makes me laugh when you see that situation where like one hero is very clearly, he's like, I've got this creep wave, it's mine, and the BCZ rolls up, he's like, maybe I could take some of the last hits.
I'm that guy.
You're that guy?
I would argue, however, that because 5 positions are never given an opportunity to farm, all of the last hitting that they can do is of net benefit to the team because gold to them is more impactful than gold to others.
Guardian Greaves quickly gets rid of the shackles here, but this is a Venomancer that looks pretty dead, but at least he gets off his abilities, and that might be a win for Empire. The back line, BZZ managed to get his initiation, pushes into 19, but 19, he's on the retreat, but the Omni Slash comes through. It sticks, though, onto the Invoker. He'll still manage to finish up Smiling Knight without losing anybody for the cause, as the Healing Ward will bail out Illusion.
Well played, yeah, and that's just the problem, right? Mag Jug, we've seen it for half a decade at this point. Some pretty significant damage. The Omni takes out Invoker in half of Drow. Oh, that was so close to finishing.
If only that Sunstrike was up a bit sooner. But instead, Unique get the Roshan kill, they get the Aegis, and now things are looking really rough for Empire. Feels like they're beginning to miss some of their timings. Well, yeah, you could play these back and forth team fights. You win one, I win one, back and forth, but like...
We were talking about the warding and how aggressively they were able to play. Look at how the map controls changed. All of a sudden, it's Unique boldly crossing the river, and this vision they've placed offensively is just not going to be useful any longer. There's no more hope to perhaps take a Roshan because that's now dead. You could go look to take the outpost bottom because the tier 2 top is gone. I think that's the play they'd want to make, but they've missed the 20-minute mark, so it's not relevant for another 7 minutes. Empire in a tough spot. They're going to want to play around a choke point and maybe look for an engage.
What I do appreciate, though, they cannot afford to slow down, nor will they. They come back from that team fight, immediately start looking for some kills. Didn't even have to use a hook shot for it. Kill BZZ.
That's got to be their target from now on. I'm surprised.
Oh, we got him with the silence. He was mid-sleight of fist. He does have the Yule Scepter, though. Does he have a Remnant? If the Remnant pulls him back in, it looks like he didn't have a Remnant up, so he could not get away.
Really nice play there. Only level 1 Remnant, but still enough to secure the kill. Great silence, though, from Smiling Knight to force the Yules. They had no hope of the kill otherwise. What does Shocklow got? Greaves going Solar Crest. Love that build. And yeah, Empire doing their job. Get into this top triangle ASAP. You need to have control of an area and bait Unique into running into it if you want to take some sort of successful engagement. You cannot allow Unique to initiate.
Part of the problem with that is going to be that Unique don't really have to fight into you, right? At this point, they could just kind of let the Juggernaut do his deal.
Just farm. The new Abyssal Blade has really changed how Drow functions against a lot of melee carries. I loved picking Drow into Jug because you had a lot of trouble with gap close, and ultimately Drow just shreds you from the back. But with this new Abyssal, especially you consider he as a mag, it's so easy now for them to just all in. You know, Ember can go first, 19, create some chaos, and all of a sudden, boom, you're Abyssal Omni'd. And without an E-Blade picked up by somebody on Empire, there's literally no save. And that's a big problem.
There's a talent change in there that I've seen people be getting the level 15 talent with the movement speed on spin as well. So this hero can actually get really fast if you go like the drums build.
Yeah. Both teams scanned each other out. They're going to do the wrap.
Yeah, this is
the hook and ladder.
A pretty smart play. James is nicely positioned, though, to break smokes, and he does just that. Gets away with his Dissimulate before he can be hit by the silence. Makes sure to completely jump out. 19 is just going to roll on it and see if they can grab. It's going to be Shocklow there. He's going to fall onto the left-hand side, where we go back to the clock, where we could try to lock down BZZ, but the shot's coming in from the Sapphire with that combo that he executed. Does a nice job of tearing apart the two Empire heroes. Eknart will no doubt be found eventually here. And brought to his knees. Empire going to lose some of that net worth lead they held.
You can see the problem. Empire knew what was up. They had perfect positioning, but the mag was initiated on him. BZZ wasn't really able to help his team, but they found the Drow. Or rather, Shocklow. and he's just dead. And the Venomancer is not a real hero. By using this Omni Slash at the start of a fight, Empire effectively just make it 5-on-4. Or Unique, rather, make it 5-on-4. And you just can't stand up to them after that.
Now you're going to need Empire. Like, they have to run it Unique again, because
Yeah,
there's now
they
cooldowns.
have to find the opening onto either Grimstroke or Magnus. They have to if they want to fight.
And they're going to try it, get these initiation now before the clockwork is even up. Lightless pursues forward. They're going to get the Yule Scepter to bring down the Ember Spirit. With that, looks like he may be dying. He does have a slight remnant up. Can they actually pursue, though? 19's going to throw away as many remnants as possible. Eknard actually TPing onto the outpost to try and get away. 19 goes to that right side. They have it stunned. They do. The Tornado's there. And sure enough, he falls. The one core kill, though.
Yep.
I think Empire wanted
more. That's a really good example of what makes this game so hard for Empire. Because that was all 5 heroes trying to kill Ember.
Yeah.
And he was able to waste, what, 15 seconds of their time? Imagine if in the meantime there's a Jug and a Mag threatening a kill on any target they come across. That's what makes this so tough for Empire. They need more information to win fights. Unique just need a core in front of their carry. He dies.
The Illusion does manage to get away from an attempted gank from Lightless. He was just trying to run down whatever heroes he could. Bottom lane, Juggernaut is free to split push where he can. They don't really want to take the fight while the RP and Omni Slash are still on cooldown. So they'll give up that mid tier 2. He's going to be going for a Scotty next instead of completing out that Abyssal Blade. Just some raw stats, it seems.
I don't mind that here. It allows you to just stick like glue onto the 3 ranged cores of Empire. And always go back for Abyssal if needed. And this Mag also, BZZ, he's just so tanky. Once he gets Greaves, the Orchid will no longer be a threat. He's going to TP out and finish him up, it appears. With the Essence Ring. Oof. Essence Ring is so good. Like, I just don't think that item is balanced. I still have some issues. I feel like we just forgot about neutral items and balancing them and what their impact on the game is. But there's certain ones, like, in, what's it, Arcane Ring? The Tenant, 3 armor, mana regen, tier 1. Is like top 3 win rate of all neutral items. It's like nearly 60%. Like, isn't that... Also, why do we not get any other thing that spawns during 2 to 4 6-minute runes? It's just a 50-50. Full bottle and haste or absolutely nothing.
You are a big fan of the bounty rune or power rune dynamic?
Yes, I think that we already have 4 bounty runes every 5 minutes. Just add another one every 2.
Shot in, managed to catch 2. That looks pretty nice. The Palantimos gets knocked out of the cogs, and well, Eknard's just kind of there, a sitting duck. But they don't manage to get the silence on the Palantimos. If they'd gotten that, maybe they could have pursued for the kill. But Eknard, as it is, maybe he survived, but the initiation doesn't really lead to anything that Empire wanted. These heroes are beginning to become tougher nuts to crack. Smiling Knight's damage does not look so hot anymore.
The lucky thing for them is that the Ember Spirit's game is just not where you would expect. I think part of it's the item build. I am not going to keep harping on the lack of drums, but I think that he would have been able to do a lot of work early game with them instead of very late Yules, which also doesn't boost his damage output, which is something you'd like when you have an Empower behind you. Clock.
Eknard
Nice
making himself a target. Nice Orchid use there on BZZ. Finally gets it cleansed off, and he is able to get the skewer back to get that poor Clockwork killed. There goes their, like, strong initiation from their 5 position, and Empire's just still going to hold this high ground area. It feels a little bad to me that, like, Unique can just jump off 5 position.
Yeah.
And the team fight's fine for them. Or lack thereof.
It's just so much easier. Their cores all scale with in survivability, whereas Empire, yeah, sure, the Venom's a little tanky, but everybody else has got to rely on mobility to survive.
Well, they wanted them to jump into the high ground, and 19, he obliges them. He does actually go for that. Thanks to the Yule Scepter, he'll be safe for now. Our Void Spirit, can he get off the Dissimulate? He jumps over the side, can't get over the cliff, though. Nice double chains. Managed to hit the Venomancer as well as the Void Spirit. They do have that meatball coming through the center. The Drone Ranger hitting from the low ground, but these tankier heroes, they're not to be messed with. And Palantimos, he found the opening he needed to. Got pushed forward from a 4-staff, I believe, and easily gets the Omni Slash into the Drone Ranger. Once the Drone's dead, the fight's over.
What are you supposed to do against that? Smiling Knight, he's played a pretty solid game. He's about the same net worth as the Jug, who just killed him in 2 seconds, 100-0.
Yeah.
There's no counterplay. If anything, you should maybe have bought a Ghost Scepter into an early E-Blade. But
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
you can't really do that and expect to win games of Dota. I think that's just it. That's at least a tower.
And Chains with the silence, Lightless, the spinning ballerina, jumping on top. They do have the hook shot to disrupt things, but a skewer back from BCZ should seal Lightless's fate unless this Deafening Blast. This is looking really good. The Drow Rangers in the back lines just laying into the entire team. And this has been folly now from Unique, thinking that,
19?
like Kyle said, maybe this game is over. They just tried to seal the deal. And in the process, throw away 5.
Now, that's the only way. That's how Unique loses fights. That's what Empire's got to look to do. No RP, they had no Jug ulti, and they kind of catch them diving, and then boom, counter-initiate with the Tornado, the Silence, the Ice Wall. And suddenly it's Unique just sort of in the firing lines. The difficulty for Empire is creating this sort of scenario. And look, I love it from Shackle. He will go for that E-Blade. You need something to save against the Omni to be able to win these fights that'll inevitably happen not on your terms. That's what Empire's got trouble with. But now you just play around the Venowards, play around the Cogs, E-Blade to save. If they can get Unique to squander one of their 2 big ultimates and keep everyone alive, that should be enough to turn the tide in an engagement.
Well, Unique, that was they managed to force a buyback to Drow Ranger, but still kind of foolish just because Roshan could have been up. Now, fortunately for them, it's only going to be up in 30 seconds here, but Empire, they had a real possibility of being able to turn the game with an Aegis, which, as you said, some way to be able to like force one of these big ultimates to be used. A secondary life would be one of those opportunities.
It's anybody's game up until this Roche fight. That's what we can expect a lot to be determined by. And yeah, lack of BKB on 19 is a bit spooky. If he uses this Yols and gets caught by either Silence or Remnant or any kind of disable after, he will get shredded by this Drow Ranger's DPS. No Venom ulti for some time though, so Empire might want to stall a little bit till that cooldown's back up.
Would you agree with me in saying that this next Roshan, it's a must-have for Empire, but not necessarily for Unique?
Yeah, I would agree. I think if Unique get it, they could potentially just go win the game. Empire get it, they can potentially fight back. Even though they're ahead in net worth, I'd say they're still behind in this game. But I like this. They consistently control vision, control high grounds. They need to take fights in open spaces. Unique, they just want to catch you in a choke point and run you down.
And I feel like Unique, you don't really need to run into these high grounds.
No, definitely not.
You just keep farming. You've got a bag on your team. Like, this Juggernaut still doesn't have his Abyssal Blade. They could just be like, okay, you stay up on the high ground. We'll go farm 75% of the map.
I will say, once this E-Blade comes up, though, and they have methods of dealing with Omni, things change a bit, because Palamentinos is dangerously high on the net worth charts in comparison to the rest of his team. This Ember Spirit's additional DPS just isn't there yet. Solar Crest Yules is not something he's going to be scaling with. Yeah,
if anything, it's like maybe 19 needs to be the one running around the map, farming these other sides. And the rest of Unique can just kind of like 4-man around. Okay, the Tornado initiation onto the Juggernaut. Way into the back line goes James. Getting to dodge that Silence nicely. He wanted to be able to stop that Snapfire ultimate. The Soulbind onto 2. They do have the Omni Slash on top of those heroes, but thanks to the Ghost Scepter, it didn't do that much, and the Clockwork was the other target. Palatino's trying to get away from Smiling Knight right now, but he's slowed down consistently by all of these heroes. The Cogs trapping Advanced Core will spell his doom, and triple kill for Smiling Knight. Palantimos is not a kill they can get, but still. I don't know how that went.
So Shacklo just absorbed a hell of a lot of the Omni with his Ghost Scepter. 1,500 gold to save a life. And I don't know where BZZ was on that engagement, but that's what makes Venom so strong.
Oh no, they just caught 19 as well.
Yeah, he's not a factor in these fights. And Shacklo's just got like 12 wards. Then there's the Chaos caused by a Quaswex Invoker, a Void Spirit who jumps all the way to the back line, distracting both supports, interrupts Snapbolt, and then jukes out the Grimstroke Silence. And Palamentinos just gets caught to being too aggressive. Smiling Knight with Alacrity. Look at the damage.
Yeah, I don't know if he felt like that was an Omni Slash, like, oh, I have to, defensive style, I have to use it, but I thought he kind of learned his lesson. Like, he has to go for the Drow Ranger. Going for this Venomancer anymore is not worth it. Whether just because of the Ghost Scepter, but also because his impact in the team fight compared to the Drow Ranger kill. Vastly different, I think.
Finish the racks. They got 20 seconds.
Yeah, they got enough time here. They're going to make sure BZZ can actually... Oh, BZZ! You got to be careful of that machine gun Drow, son!
Just going to go for more. Why not? The Butterfly and the Alacrity. Oh, my God.
Well, what? He just walked in and got right-clicked.
Yeah, you better buy back. That's 2 racks.
Huh.
All right.
Well, that's weird. Unique have gotten themselves into quite the pickle now. 25-31, 35 minutes in, and it's looking like it's now Empire's game to lose, with mid lane of barracks completely taken and the top lane melee barracks brought down as well.
Go for me.
And now it feels like Unique almost have to try and play for like some big late game. Aghanim Scepter for the Venomancer. Jeez. So didn't actually go for the completed E-Blade, just left it as a Ghost Scepter for now. I'd like to see that E-Blade just to have a way to protect the Drow Ranger, but
I don't know if Drow needs protecting anymore. Smiling Knights seems perfectly capable of taking care of himself, especially with all these buffs. And because there's no MKB on the Jug, even Omni-Slash strikes can still miss, right? Or they have True Strike?
I think
I know the auto attacks during the Omni can miss.
Yeah,
well,
I
aren't
think that's
all of
the
it?
way it goes.
Isn't it just the time duration now? No number.
Oh, you might be right in that maybe they can all miss.
It's one of those mechanics when I was playing, like you'd always have like the exact knowledge of. Whereas now, washed up, I sometimes wonder even what. Like, my head is just full of really useless information. Like I know that
all the old mechanics that are left in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it's like Slacks is just constantly talking about the lore.
Yeah.
So now I can tell you what universe Weaver is from, but I don't know what Geminade does.
What universe is he from?
It would take too long to get into. It's a crossover based on something from Star Trek. Sheklo finding BZZ. There's still no BKB on the mag. He's in trouble.
Same time, they're going for Palantimos, and Palantimos didn't go for a TP out during that spin because the clock works, so now he's going to be in serious trouble, brought down pretty easily. Why are these guys down here by themselves? Where's the rest of the team? Like,
well, they're in base. They're chilling. There was a pause. We had some hangout, you know?
I guess.
Chilling at the playground. Ag's up on Illusion. That could be big if he can get it on top of the Drow, but that's real difficult. Cast range, not what you would hope it would be, and Drow's going to be way in the back.
Yeah, he almost needs like a Blink Dagger just to be able to get that.
It's a very ambitious item.
Yeah. And one that won't feel very good on anybody else. Right? Like maybe Venomancer, I guess, but that's still not as
really
good as like true right-clicking carries. You have to get it on this Drow Ranger.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
They're still waiting on a Vlad's to be finished on BZZ. I really just don't think that this Unique lineup played the draft for their timings. An Empire, like, they smell blood. Nothing can really stand to this Drow's damage either, and he's too tanky now for them to try and all in.
Gonna grab the Ember Spirit immediately.
Look at
Smiling
the
Knight sees
damage.
this opportunity, but that push forward actually catches them with the Soulbind as well. And they do have the Drow Ranger Illusion out, but there wasn't enough like follow-up there. There was no stuns to be able to catch Smiling Knight when he was in that very terrible position. If we had like an RP skewer back, that looks to me like an easy win for Unique.
These Veno wards, the spam. This is what makes Empire's draft so dangerous. If you allow them to take area control, there's summons, wards, Drow launching aerial assaults, the rocket spam. It's just so difficult now. Unique, even though they're inside their own base, they're being forced off the ground.
Managed to get the skewer back onto the Venomancer
Get your
with the
ult off.
immediate silence. So that is great because he can't actually remove the silence, especially while he tries to use his Ghost Scepter.
If he just gets that Ag's ult off, they can still take that fight. But
Certainly.
wait,
Oh, he
19?
stumbled into a Scythe of Ice pickup, and they got way too ahead of themselves. The Omni Slash on a clockwork?
Got him.
All right. Well, the bad part for Empire, I was like, okay, they used Omni Slash, great. But at the same time, they did buy back on the Venomancer during this timing. It feels like that means they are just going to force the high ground right now while
hell
Omni
yeah.
Slash is on cooldown.
Yeah. You got a huge window. Satanic's going to be finished on Smiling Knight. I would love to see him just buy it. Who needs buyback? You've got an Aegis. Minotaur Horn as well is actually huge because it means he's got a BKB on demand when necessary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all Omni Slash hits do not have True Strike.
Yeah, okay, cool. Because it used to be that the attacks between could miss, the Omni Strikes couldn't.
Right.
But I would argue that makes MKB even more value on Jug. And I'm surprised we don't see it in this game. Like, the moment you saw the butterfly, that's got to be your priority one.
Radiant are scanning.
And he's got it queued up now. Yeah, to be expected.
Do you feel like this Scotty has... I feel like it hasn't been that useful. Like the tankiness of the item.
It seemed good when I envisioned the fights as Palamentinos like running in, getting on top of somebody.
Sure.
But then you realize, wait, you're not actually... It's hitting that guy the first time. That's the trouble.
Yeah.
Because you're running through Venom Wards and Clock and Void Spirit, and there's just all this stuff to get through. It feels like he should have gone for either more raw DPS or a true mobility item to find a target.
Yeah. I mean, that's like Abyssal Blade, as you were talking about. It solves some of these issues for a lot of melee cores.
Yeah.
Which is that little hop.
That's the trouble with Scotty. It sounds good on paper. It's so much stats, limits regen, you get to stick on a ranged hero, but it's getting the opening that's the difficult part. And that's where Abyssal comes in, is just the be-all, end-all item. It's like, think of Ursa, right? All of a sudden with an Abyssal, it's just a threat. Like it's a grizzly bear. It upgrades him from a brown bear. I don't know why I'm talking about Ursa. It doesn't matter. Unique.
From black bear to grizzly bear, is that what you're saying?
Yes. They were talking about bears all yesterday and how it's silly to play dead. They actually just don't understand. If it's a black bear, fight back. Brown bear, lay down.
Yeah.
Bear's brown, lay down. That's what it is. So it's supposed to rhyme. But it actually does work. I think.
Yeah. I mean, I assume there's a reason why like every survival guide suggests it. They really don't think you shouldn't lay down against a grizzly bear. I dare you to try and outrun one of those things.
Dude,
those
bears
are bad
terrifying.
boys, man. They'll mess
you know
you
what's
up.
even crazier is that a gorilla would absolutely destroy a brown bear, and that would blow your mind. But because gorillas are very similar to humans, like we're effectively cousins, and they have like strength. It just blows your mind.
So tell me, Joe, have you ever tried DMT?
Eknar scouting out with the rocket. Empire, they just got to find good positioning, control an area, control the vision. I like it. Roshan spawning, possibly, rather, Aegis despawning. So maybe this isn't the right time to be fighting, but they're going to do it anyway.
A small window there where maybe they could have caught Palantimos and pushed him back up with the cogs, but don't want to try and stretch things too much. After all, they're in a comfortable position. They can wait for Roshan. It's up to Unique to actually come outside their base and do something during this potential Roshan spawn window. It is going to be a long, long, long Rosh, though. It's the latest you could possibly get it, so... Nice catch out here. Oh, and a nice hook shot in. That's going to be able to catch two, push him back with the Cogs Palantimos as well. They're going to turn around and focus on Eknar, but that is exactly what the Drone Ranger wants you to do. Focus on my 5 position. I'll lay down the damage eventually here. There goes the Void Spirit heading back in. They do manage to catch the 2, though. The Soulbind mixed in with the Phantom. They're doing a nice job getting on top of these heroes. The Omni Slash, it finally jumps onto the Drone Ranger, and that is how you're supposed to win fights, Unique. That's how you do it right there.
This is how we do it. All it took was them getting on top. The RP wasn't even really necessary. Eknard, man, this guy, he's playing so well, though.
He don't play.
That initiation was flawless. He found the first catch, then isolates, pushes back 3. He's doing exactly his job, then buying back to kill the Ember Spirit. His team has just got to watch their positioning a bit better. He had found them the Grimstroke. They just get double ulted, then Omni Slash. Like, come on, lads.
Oh my god! Did you get him? Oh! I was watching the clock this entire time because somebody on his team pinged it. And I was like, my man's going to try and snipe Illusion.
Oh
and
my
he's still
god.
going for it! This boy's a beast! He don't stop!
Hell yeah. What a beast. Like, single-handedly stopping the push. Takes out 2 key heroes. Multiple buybacks forced. How many were used in that last engagement? 4?
We had the, I'm not sure why Void Spirit Invoker felt compelled to buy back. Maybe they felt like they needed somebody to check the pit, but since Eknar was up, you know, I don't think anybody really needed to buy back until they knew Roche was up.
And this is where things get a little spooky for the Drow, though, because the MKB was up on Jug, and we've kind of underplayed it, I feel. But, you know, even, like... Yeah, he's having trouble getting on top of somebody, but Palamentinos with that Empower. Look at his there. He's hitting for over 300.
Oh,
like he hits really, really hard.
It's the new Juggernaut with his Omni Slash change, and then I think maybe it's Abyssal Blade as well. But this hero feels way stronger late game than he used.
Oh yeah.
He does have the Omni Slash duration, so the Omni Slash is going to be even scarier.
And once he gets the Abyssal, things get really, really spooky, specifically for this Invoker, who just, with that Orchid BKB, it's not a bad item build by any means, but it starts to fall off at a certain point because the Orchid Silence is no longer as valuable. There's heroes
mind. He actually has an E-Blade on the Clockwork.
Yo, win or lose, Eknar's my MVP.
Agreed. Now we're in that precarious position where a bunch of heroes do not have buyback.
I like the all-ending from the Jug. He doesn't have the buyback, but the Abyssal is just so much more valuable. If you die once, and your buyback's not going to be relevant. The fight's already going to be over. Oh, no.
Two-man RP, but he didn't get the positioning to get the skewer over. He didn't turn him around, and now he's going to be silenced and won't be able to skewer back home. They are going to be able to get the Soul Bind onto the Draw Ranger. Stun onto two. Palantimos, Abyssal Blade, both of them. He's spinning around. The Omni Slash is going to be up in a second. He just needs to stay on top of Smiling Knight, but he gets silenced first. Somebody bail him out, so he has a chance to go again. The Aeon Disc going off from James, as he again is trying to position himself in the front lines, trying to be as disruptive as possible to get Smiling Knight out of there, because that was a dieback from the Invoker. 19 knows this too. He wants to be able to fight a forward, accidentally pushing him in, but he can still turn around and maybe finish off this Ember Spear. The rest of the team needs to get in there. Eknar trying to stop this Juggernaut from getting closer, but he's coming. He's approaching. He's getting on top of Smiling Knight now. The push away. He turns around, hits onto Eknar with his Omni Slash, feeling like he had to use it. Otherwise, he was going to poke apart by the Drow Ranger like he is now, but the Abyssal Blade forward catches the Drow, finally gets him. Eknar force staffs away, but gets caught by 19. Drow Ranger on his second life immediately is stunned up, and this could be it, Kyle. Did Empire Smiling Knight gets a little bit of push away. Can he actually get the distance? Palantimos, or his proc, and he's getting the damage, and Palantimos is dead. Turning on Advanced Core now, gets that kill, and takes down 19 for the last kill. They only have Mag and Snapfire up, and they call it. Unique says we cannot hold with just two.
That was absolutely insane. Eknar, straight up, first off finds the initiation, then buying his drought time. They kite back a full 2,000 units,